I've discussed my feelings on the entertainment era of the UFC many times in the past. I talked about how much I dislike fighters feeling the need to cut promos, and that it's way more intriguing to me as a fan seeing the fighters just be themselves. But with that being said, I fully understand why things are the way they are right now. Making thoughtful efforts on the promotional side of things is a proven track record to earning more money. So whether it's someone stirring up a beef unnecessarily or just crazy behavior at events or on social media, being part pro wrestler is a template for a lucrative career. Some fighters don't do this type of PR at all. Some fighters do it a little bit, and some fighters go overboard with it. Colby Covington goes overboard with it, and with that, a meaningful percentage of the fan base wants to see him get his ass kicked. In other words, a meaningful percentage of the fan base wants to see his next fight. For Covington, this gimmick is working like a charm, but all the fake crap media surrounding him aside, and as much as you may dislike him and want to see him fail, Colby Covington's win over RDA was downright impressive. I did consider the fact that he'd be able to at least make the fight with RDA interesting because of his wrestling pedigree, but I didn't expect the unrelenting tenacity of coming forward, whether it be with strikes or wrestling, taking him to a win over the former lightweight champion. I was pretty surprised to see Covington cut off RDA and, as TJ DeSantis put it, mute RDA's offense. It's hard to remove his shtick from the equation because of how loud it is, but from a purist standpoint, Covington put himself in the position to challenge for the UFC welterweight title, fair and square. It's easy to hate Covington for the shit he gets on with, and I don't mean to state the obvious, but that's not actually who he is. At least I don't think it is. I feel like most of the fan base realize it's all an act and not real, but despite that, he still gets the reaction he's looking for. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge fan of UFC Embedded. Every time Fight Week rolls around, I just wait for the first episode to drop. There are a lot of really cool subtle things the production does creatively with the footage, and it's just a really enjoyable watch. One of the great things about it is seeing different fighters go through the motions and the preparation of Fight Week, and also to see them reacting in real time as the fight draws near. It's good insight into things to see how fighters deal with these emotions. This past week was interesting because it featured Covington and it revealed how much of a gimmick this whole thing really is. It's weird because, like a lot of you, I realize what he's doing is pro wrestling 101 and I have all this time, but it wasn't until this past week when I saw Colby on the verge of laughing each time he looked into the camera for some sort of remark that I felt like I was really in on what was taking place. I conceived the idea that Covington probably isn't even a bad guy. Throughout his time on Embedded, there was him spending time with his family sprinkled in there, as well as a few moments in which he really wasn't in character that sort of showcased how much he really pours it on when the mic is hot. It made me think of how much energy gets put into just maintaining this persona and upping the ante when needed. I also had this funny thought of, what if tomorrow Covington just stopped with the act? Out of nowhere, just started being himself and just cutting trash talk and the social media frenzy things out of the equation completely and just starting behaving as he normally would and as he has done prior to this whole craziness. It's something that's never really been done before, and it'd be wild to see how the fans would react to Covington out of nowhere just talking like a normal person. I equate it to if tomorrow Sage Northcott just started acting crass and swearing all the time and stirring up shit. I think both of these scenarios would get a huge rise out of the fans. These are the things I think about. But none of that's going to happen. Covington's out of cage persona has taken him far, and the gimmick is paying off, and it'll continue to. But above all else, it's a skill set that has taken him where he is today, whether we want to admit it or not.